Hello, my friend. My friendy friend. Taxi. I see you. I don't know why anything's not showing up. But hello, how you doing? We be drawing tiny cute things right now. Hello. Okay, now that one showed up. Gamers rise up. We're gonna be coloring little chibi shrouds. Chibi shroud. Could have been better. Yeah. Everything could have always been better. The constant struggle of an artist. It could have been better. How we doing? You fine? You chilling? Nice. I do greet you. Is something wrong? I'd give you a tip, but I do not work. I don't know if it works in Medibang. I don't. I don't know. I'd like to hear it anyway. See if it's possible. Let's see if it's possible. Because if Medibang is... if it's like similar to like a Photoshop base, then it might be possible. I don't know. No, I might just play these later because they got something funny going on. No, never mind. I'll leave it. Wait, I can check. I mean, it could be useful for anybody else out there that's using it, you know? Even if I won't be able to find any use for it. About anything to make coloring easier, because like I've been doing the same method for like years of like color a base, like just color it all up in there. Simple background, and then like select the outline area and then like erase the excess, but like it always leaves like a little bit of like a spill. I don't know if it has anything to do with my magic wand settings or not, but like I always have to go back around and like erase the edges. Which is honestly very annoying. Especially because like if you use like a light color, it's very noticeable. That if there's like spillage going on. It's very pixelated and weird looking. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but like, again, a lot of stuff happened with Twisted Wonderland updates this week. And apparently there's gonna be like a 3D concert with the anniversary songs. That's in like, I don't know, November, October? Some far off month, but like, I just think that's hilarious. Because I remember like, last year, I think, for April Fools, they kind of did something like a 3D concert thing for the Pomfiore chapter, like their performance or whatever, something like that. It was kind of silly. So it's like kind of funny that they just have these like 3D models of the characters and just at the ready, like they knew ahead of time what they were gonna do, and I think that's funny. We know what the people want, and they want anime boy concerts. The people have spoken. I want to at least finish these little chibi doodles, because I'm thinking maybe, not Tuesday, but Wednesday, because I have to start on Wednesday next week. If, like, doing like a tier list ranking for the Overplot character designs, I think that'd be fun. Might do something extra in there, because there's like only 7 of these things to talk about. But like, I could probably yap for like 2 hours about it, I don't know. Maybe throw in something else while ranking Overplot designs. I think that'd be funny. But yeah, next week is gonna be a Wednesday through Friday week. Cause weekend plans, yay! I do in fact touch grass. Even though I feel like I'm very terminally online, I do in fact go outside and touch the grass. It's fun to touch grass every once in a while. need to reconsider applying back to where I used to work around that area or something, just because it's like it gave me an excuse to touch grass way more often, surprisingly. Cause like, working locally was like, not fun touch grass experience, but like working at the park was like, yes, you can touch grass right after work. You are allowed to touch the grass. Be free. Although I do kind of want to be able to work there again because I have a little collection thing going on that I want more. One of my pretty little dolls. We're doing steps a little bit out of order right now because I want to do the shadows first. Sometimes I do shadows first, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the mood. Good morning, hello, welcome back, Marcus. I definitely started a little bit earlier than usual. Finishing up little chibi doodles. I also did in fact redraw Ida's head because I did not like how I drew it the first time. So I went back and like fixed it. I also fixed the hair a little bit. It's a little bit different from last time, but we coloring chibis today. And also, next week is going to be a Wednesday through Friday week because I touch grass on the weekend. And I'm thinking that Wednesday's going to be ranking the overblock designs. And maybe some bonus stuff afterwards, because I don't know how long it'll take to rank the overblock designs, because there's only like 7 of them. There's not a lot. So, like, I need a backup plan in case it's a little bit too short. But like, yeah, Wednesday's just gonna be talking about the overblock designs in more detail and like ranking them from like, what's my favorite to, yeah, I like this, but it's not my favorite. Because like, they all have good qualities. Oh, why no Tuesday stream? Because weekend activities and plans. Yeah. I don't need to get too much into detail other than that. Despite how terminally online I feel like I am, I do in fact go outside, touch the grass, and have fun with people in real life. I think we might go to the movies, but I don't know. I kind of do, but like... everybody wants to go biking on the weekend. I'm just like, eh. It's no fun biking with my dad. He leaves everybody behind. He goes zooming. I have an idea. After we rank the overblock designs, we can brainstorm what different Disney movie characters would look like as an overblock and how it would happen. Ooh, that is actually good because I technically the Twisted Wonderland character that I made, that I showed y'all, I don't remember exactly when because I have the memory of the goldfish, but my snake boy, the one based on Ka, yeah, I did one for him, and I think that actually would be a good bonus thing to add to that. Like, thank you for the idea, because yes, like, I already have one ready now. I would just need a list of a few other Disney characters to make for that. Or even just the other characters. Depending on what their characters are based off of, I might be able to do something like that. Because I have seen fan art where people give characters like Ace or like Trey or just the other NRC students overblock designs. And I think it's actually kind of cool. You're welcome, but do you have an overblock design art for him? Yes. If you scroll back through my Tumblr, you'd find it. But I don't want you to do that because I want it to be a surprise. But like, it is there. I made it for fun mostly because it's like, well, what if he did? In one of the drawings I did show, I gave him a Master Chef outfit, and his vegetable was a leek. I just thought it was funny. What will he do with the leek? He'll just eat it whole. He does not care. Speaking of your Tumblr, it isn't linked in your About section in your channel. I wouldn't look it up, but that just reminded me. I'm pretty sure I have it in there. Yeah, it is there. I don't know if the link's broken or not. I might have to go back and double check it, but it's in there. I know I put that in there. I might have to update the link or something. I don't know. But it do be there in the About section that honestly I have not updated since I made this channel. The history behind it is kind of weird. It was sort of like an assignment, a place to dump assignments for university, but like now it's like, who is this creature? But like everything that is on here is not an assignment. It's just me goofing off. or sharing my particularly favorite little animation things that I've made. Which I still need to finish the Ida 3D model because I have an idea for that one. Like, I need Ortho and Ida for the idea I have in mind. I stand corrected, all three of your links are there, but I never think I don't think I saw the third one is the Tumblr one for some reason. I mean, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you just don't see anything. Even though it's like right there in front of your face, and then it's like, oh, now I notice. Now I see. Another idea I'm considering for like a stream next week could be like Monster High character redesigns or something, because I find those fun. But I don't know. How many 3D models do you have for the Twisted Wonderland characters? Just Ortho. Ida's like in the process of being rigged and like having his mesh kind of his mesh weights painted or whatever. Cause like I don't remember how to do that stuff manually, and thank goodness Blender has like add-ons and stuff that just does that automatically, and all you have to do is adjust it to the model you made. Which is honestly difficult because like even though my models are chibis, they still have 5 fingers. So I have to do a little extra when it comes to getting the rigs done for them. Like their skeletons or whatever. Where it's like, oh yeah, just use the basic human rig and then boom, there it is. But like, I need to use the more like advanced one because it has the hands. So I have to completely delete of the face stuff that comes on the more advanced human rig. And it's also very tricky to mess with that because like if you mess with the neck area too much, it becomes like broken and you can't use it, and it's like, oh no, now I gotta try and redo this all over again and make sure I don't mess up the neck. At least Grim is already naturally chibi. He is just a cat. He do got the proportions of a chibi already. Because he is cat. And as we all know, all anime characters are based off of cats. They're not based off of realistic human proportions. It's cats, man. What up? Hello! It's Adriana. I think I said that right. I don't know. I don't know what my accent is. I'm alive! Welcome back. And another reminder that we having the stream week be Wednesday through Friday next week, so no Tuesday. I have plans on the weekends. You did a good job. Thank you. Also, I redid Ida's head and hair off stream before I started because I did not like how it looked. Also, there's all the Fae besides Malleus and his parents, who I'm pretty sure are meant to be small like the Disney fairies. You have not seen Malleus's mother? Malleus's mother is a straight up dragon like him, okay? Everybody loves Malleus's mother. Why are you doing 3 streams next week? I always do 3 streams. I don't usually do 4. I do 3. Cause I need to make sure I actually sleep at night sometimes, so. Yeah, I've been doing a schedule of 3. I might try to bring it up to 4. But I don't feel like it. Hot dragon milk! There are quite a few MILFs in a Twisted Wonderland. There's only like 3, I guess. One we do not see the face of. So it's hard to tell. But yeah. Every mother that's been shown off in this game is a MILF. No, I know, there's 4, never mind. I just remembered. There's like 4 that we actually see. We got Malleus's mother, Deuce's mother, Ida and Ortho's mother, and Silver's dead mother. Also saw the Art of Malleus Overblot stream, and he do be looking good. Everybody looks good in their overblots. If not good, why hot? I thought Malleus's mother was the only MILF, and by extension only female character we see, unless we actually see Jamil and Kalim's sister, rather than just hear about her. Jamil's sister is actually younger than him, so that's not a MILF. That is just a girl. But, Deuce. Everybody likes Deuce's mother. Ida and Ortho's mother. So sweet. Like, Ida, unblock your mama. I like the fact that Ida's described as being like his mother, even though he kind of comes off like his dad. It's kind of funny. It's like, nah, Ida's true nature is a gremlin like his mother. Just an absolute menace. With the genius to back up the attitude. Oh yeah, because it wasn't in the previous like ranking Twisted Wonderland characters. I could pull up an image of what Silver's mother looks like. Cause that was honestly a surprise. I was not expecting to see her. Cause like, yeah, we got Silver's long dead father, but then it's like, ooh, here's his mother too. She's very pretty. There we go. Ortho seems more like his mother, though, if she's a gremlin. I think they're both like their mother. They're both gremlins. Here's Silver's mother. She's very pretty, as you can see. Very Aurora. Especially with the hairstyle, because I think that's sort of what Aurora's hairstyle is kind of looking like. I don't know. All I remember is that Princess Aurora, her style is kind of modeled after Audrey Hepburn. At least from what I remember, I think. I know it was like a celebrity who, a film actress who was like really popular around that era of movies. So pretty! I like you know that weird little meme that goes around where it's like 9 months in my womb making me suffer and he looks like his stupid dad. I feel like that meme works perfectly with Silver's parents. It's like that's the only correct way to use that meme is with them. In my opinion, because Silver is just his dad with a different hair color. Mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry. Yes, Aurora's hair is like that. She looks more like young Julie Andrews than Audrey Hepburn though. Yeah, I can see that. It's like, I knew it's like classic era movie celebrity from like the 1950s. Every MILF is amazing, but Riddle's mother. I'm still banking on the idea that Riddle's mother just looks like Madame Red. Like that's honestly what I think she's gonna look like if we ever see what she actually looks like. I just have this feeling, you know? And if I'm correct, I'm gonna be laughing. That's just what I think. Even though she's horrible. If they show her, it is on sight, woman. Indeed. Although I am curious about what their dynamic is after she finds out Riddle overblooded, because I don't think he's ever talked about what happened. It's like I need to understand what's going on there, because like it sounds very complicated and gray. Silver's mom is best MILF, followed by Ortho's mom. We may not see the face of Miss Shroud, but she is indeed a great MILF. That personality alone is what carries her. And her voice actress is the same voice actress for Cardcaptor Sakura, I think, if you're curious. And I think that's amazing. Considering how many magical girl references were kind of made in the Diasomnia chapter when it comes to Ignihai. I want to be Miss Shroud's friend, she's so sweet. An adorable menace. She's got the skills to back up her attitude. Their dad also seems their dad seems also kind of adorable too, in a sense, like he's just this quiet dude with this absolute gremlin of a wife. It's like, ah yes, that is the love of my life right there. I adore her silly little antics. Not only is she smart, she makes me laugh. Speaking of the dads, they are DILFs. Uh-oh. Hold on real quick. I will be back. I need to do something. Okay, I'm back. Have another idea for a stream coming up with your own twist OCs besides the one you made? Also ranking various fashion doll toy lines since you mentioned Monster High. Oh, that's also very good. I feel like Miss Shroud was like Jessica Rabbit with the "she makes me laugh." I mean, that's kind of like the silly little, like, dynamic they have going on. Where it's like they have like completely opposite like personalities, but they still like each other. Hold on real quick. But yeah, when it comes to like fashion doll stuff, I do have my favorites. I think I mentioned it before, but I don't know, but like I really used to love Bratz dolls as a kid. And like for years of my life I had no idea there was like a weird controversy going on with them. Cause like my parents were just like, hey, you like Bratz dolls? Okay, we'll give you some Bratz dolls here. Have fun. Speaking of Jessica, I made a fake event where some of the Twist cast goes like the Stitch event, but they meet Roger and Jessica and maybe a new character's based off of Roger and Jessica. Ooh. A Toontown event. That would honestly be really cool for a book event. Imagine the silly little costumes they could have on. That'd be so funny. What was the Bratz controversy? You know how like Barbie and Bratz kind of had like these controversies of like these dolls are not good for girls. Like with Barbie, it was just, she's too pink and girly, and girls shouldn't have dolls that are so pink and girly and make them think that they only have to do pink and girly things or whatever. But with Bratz dolls, it was more like, these dolls look like hookers. It was very strange. Like with Barbie, it was mostly just feminists being annoyed at how girly Barbie was. But with Bratz, it was mostly Christian moms being like, these dolls look inappropriate. They made it where some of the Twist casts even dress like characters from the movie. I made the main character as Jessica because it's funny. I like that. But who would be Judge Doom in a Toontown event? Good question. Also, Judge Doom came back to life in the event somehow, IDK. We don't really need that much logic with these events, you know? I mean, the Stitch event, it didn't really seem like it was taking place during the events of the actual movie. So yeah, you don't need to explain why Judge Doom is back. He can just be there. No explanation needed, he's just back. I thought the Barbie controversy was that the doll represented unrealistic beauty standards. Yeah, that too. Both of the doll, a lot of fashion doll brands had that issue where people were like, these dolls don't represent real bodies, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, okay, then as a parent, teach your kid that you don't need to look like a doll. That's what my parents did. That's why they were like, hey, you can play with your Bratz dolls. They're silly little cartoons anyways. I don't get it. I'll never understand that. I think I made Colleen Judge Doom. Cause suffer from a boy. That is an interesting choice. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but interesting choice. Actually, there is one Roger Rabbit comic book that did show Judge Doom brought back to life, and they did it through a real-life animation technique. Ooh! That's fun. I know a lot of Disney movies and stuff like that does have, like, comics or whatever. But at least for, like, Mickey Mouse or whatever, those comics are just really popular in Europe and nowhere else. Except for, like, maybe DuckTales. I think that one has popularity more worldwide because of, like, the cartoon or whatever. The original one and the newer one, but, like... Do not worry, I'm adding this little heart flame last because I kind of forgot to draw it. I made Leona Roger. He hated it. Also, Floyd was Eddie, the human one. I was gonna switch them up, but my friend said keep it because it's funny. You know, sometimes the best option is just the funny one, you know? Sometimes you just gotta go with the sillies. But I feel like any Octa character could work with the... Excuse me. Could work with an Eddie look or something. It has similar vibes to Octavinelle in general. I have another idea. Maybe one stream you can draw a Descendants character in the Twist style, or have a character based off that franchise. That would be interesting. However, I don't really like the Descendants movies. Even back when I was younger and I was like actually like in sort of that target demographic, I was like, I don't like these movies. They don't make sense to my brain. But like I probably could, but then again they already have like animated versions of these characters anyway. I mean, they're animated kind of horribly, but still. Or Ever After High. I wanted to get into Ever After High, but I was always focused on Monster High when I was younger. Like, the Ever After High dolls, they do look pretty cute. And I do have a friend who knows more about the Ever After High lore than the Monster High lore, so... Why didn't you like Descendants? They made the villains too relatable? Nah, it's because in my head I'm just like, most of these characters are already dead. Like, Jafar should not be here. Whether you're taking it from like the first Aladdin movie or like the sequels, like he's dead. He was killed. This does not make sense in my little brain. And Maleficent's like a weird one too, because like people are like, well, she's technically not dead because she's like some all-powerful fairy thing. She's only just temporarily halted or whatever. But like, I'm pretty sure the movie implied she was dead. Because again, back then it was more like implied death. Stabbed through the heart with a magical sword of like truth and goodness and whatever. I mean, Cruella was just arrested, so like, yeah, it makes sense that she's still around, you know. She doesn't die. Evil Queen's also dead. She fell off a frickin' cliff and got smashed by a boulder, struck by lightning. Like, that was just like, yes, she is dead. Do you see the symbolism here with the vultures? That woman's gone. The only one alive is Cruella, yes. You know, one franchise that I think deserves more love that's kind of like Monster High and Ever After High, but without the dolls? Mysticons. I thought Cruella died because of road rage. No, she survived the car crash. She survived the car crash, from what I can tell. Yeah. She's just a terrible driver. No, in the movie they show her alive. Yeah. She lives. She's just annoyed at the end of the movie, like, how could you let them get away? It's like, I wouldn't mind if, like, these characters are still, like, related to the Disney villains, but, like, half of these Disney villains are technically dead. Although the one thing I can respect is the Hades and Maleficent thing, because for some reason even, like, a lot of, like, Disney villain-related shows or whatever, for, like, parks and events or whatever, for some reason likes to have those two together, so it's like, you get a pass on that! Scar was dead, but somehow they found a way for him to return in the Lion Guard. Fire Demon Scar. I thought the Lion Guard was just showing, like, flashbacks with Scar. I don't know, I've never watched it. But, like, I thought they just had him show up in, like, flashbacks for certain events or whatever. I didn't know they actually brought him back. Because I know the Lion King sequel, he's still dead. The True Descendants is not the movie, but is twists. Unironically, yes. Because, like, it's easier to explain away that, oh, this character is a descendant of this Disney villain because off-screen activities. Like, it's easier to explain it away like that instead of just having the character come back to life for, like, no real good reason. Cause, like, they also do that with the Evil Queen a lot in, like, stage shows or whatever. Like, live performances. It's just like, oh. She didn't actually die. She came back to life because she's, like, a witch. Even though that symbolism is very heavily implied to be she's dead. No, the Lion Guard actually showed a fire spirit of Scar in the final season. He was raising an army to take over Pride Rock. So he came back from the dead. That's interesting. Their outfits, put it back! The cards! I know, but to me, he's just Fire Demon Scar. Honestly, I like the sound of that. His spirit is so vengeful, he's come back from the dead. I like that idea. Also, Dr. Hamsterville from Lilo and Stitch is alive, as we see during Jailhouse Rock. I remember Hamsterville. Oh, that dude was so funny. Poor Gantu, though. He's trying his best, man. Hamsterville is just so, like... But Ruben, though. Ruben is, like, the best cousin in Lilo and Stitch. He just wants his sandwiches, man. Leave him be. He's just a silly little guy. He didn't necessarily come back from the dead, but rather he found a way for his spirit to return to the mortal. Interesting. It kind of reminds me of Hercules, the cartoon. Because I had Jafar show up in that cartoon in the 90s, even though he's, like, dead. Hades is just like, you know what, I'm gonna bring you back from the dead for just this really stupid idea I have to, like, get rid of Hercules, and it's like, okay, bet. But, like, the whole time, Hades is just like, are you okay, man? What is with that laugh? What is wrong with you? I just like the fact that there's just something so off about Jafar that even other villains are like, you good, man? Also, I've heard the Twist songs. I'm in love with it. Yes, I love them all. I knew the Savannah Claw one was gonna sound so much better in full than the preview, because I feel like the preview kind of did it a little dirty. All the previews were kind of awkward, but I feel like the Savannah Claw one was definitely like why did you cut it like that? Then again, I think Timon and Pumbaa were not canon to the movies. The show, I meant, not the characters. I can accept the idea of alternate universes to a certain extent. Although, in all honesty, I kind of wish for some of these Disney movies that they, instead of trying to do sequels, They just made TV shows. Because, like, again, I really think that Moana 2 could have been actually just a TV show, because there's, like, so much mythology and lore going on. It would have made for a better TV show, because then the lore explanation stuff wouldn't feel so awkward. Like, Moana 2 isn't really that bad, but it really is just, like, this should have still been a show. I don't think it would have been that bad either. The insomnia, OMG, the English part. It sounds kind of... Also, I don't think any of the Jungle Book's villains or Prince John died. Yeah, not even Shere Khan died. He just ran away with fire on his tail, so for all we know, he's alive. Also, love the Hearts Labial and Octavinelle. I can't wait for the Octavinelle one. That one's gonna be so good. It's so jazzy, I love it. Funny you should mention you think sequels should have been TV shows. Atlantis Milo's Return was actually meant to be a backdoor pilot. Yeah, I do remember that, because I also did watch it, and it feels like it's just 3 episodes. It feels like it's just 3 TV episodes put together. It doesn't really feel like an actual movie plot. It feels just like three episodes of a TV show. No, they didn't. I feel like also Frozen 2 should have been, like, you should have turned that into, like, a TV series, too, because, like, that... Ugh, that was a mess. But the fact that it's, like, a movie that they wanted to have out during, like, the holiday season, and, like, the whole process of that movie was just rushed and rough. To the point that there's a documentary about how rough the production was. Ooh. Oh boy. We don't talk about Beauty and the Beast 2. No, we do not. I don't even think I've ever watched it. Also, Yzma never died in any Emperor's New Groove material. Yeah, because it's more of a funny comedy, you know? It doesn't make sense to have characters die in a funny little ha-ha movie. I'm not saying that to be mean or anything, it's just, it's a funny movie. And she's a very funny villain. Shocked how Yzma's still alive. Because the power of comedy and gags. Who put this trampoline here? I didn't know Beauty and the Beast 2 had a... No, not Beauty and the Beast. Frozen 2 had a documentary about how the production was made. And people were like, yeah, that sounds rough, man. Because, like, part of the reason why it even exists is because of how popular Frozen was. And the fact that it's like, oh, well, we need to have this movie come out during the holidays, so please just make this movie. It's like, I really don't know what we're doing. And, like, I did see that movie, and I'm just like, there's a lot going on here, and it doesn't make sense, and the character regression for Elsa is just really weird. Like, I feel like that can work more in a TV show scenario, where, like, the characters are constantly going through, like, development or whatever. Like, I don't know, for, like, an actual sequel, it just felt really weird to have her go back to, like, square one and just isolate herself again. Elsa is, like, still unintentionally the Disney villain of Frozen. As much as they keep trying to push her to be more like, no, she's not the villain. She's just a very, like, she's just a character with like problems or whatever, but it's like she still comes off unintentionally as the villain because of how hard she keeps trying to be like, no, don't help me, I don't need your help. But it's like, you do. And you just kind of end up making problems worse unintentionally. Fun fact about Yzma that you might already know, she was voiced by the woman who sang Santa Baby, and she originally had a villain song when the movie was conceptualized more as a drama. I love Yzma's song. And didn't Eartha Kitt play Catwoman in like the 60s? That's what I know her for. I didn't know about the Santa Baby thing. It's an interesting fun fact. Yeah, see, that's what I mostly know Eartha Kitt for. As well as the fact that Yzma was going to have a song. And that song was fun, and it's kind of sad because it feels like they could have reworked that into the movie if they had the time to. But I think she passed away before they finished the movie, so you can't rework that into the movie anymore. But like they still had it on like the album for the movie. Another Disney villain who is still alive is Silver from Treasure Planet. Yep. If you want to call him a villain, he doesn't really feel like a villain. He's the true epitome of like a redemption arc done right. In the sense that, yeah, he's still kind of a bad guy, selfish little dude, but like, not that bad anymore. He's had a little bit of a change of heart, but not anything too drastic, you know? Obviously, he still doesn't want to get arrested, so... He's a free spirit. But that's how you do, like, a twist done right. Also, none of the Bolt villains died. Yeah, because that movie was more like critiquing Hollywood in general, in my opinion. It is kind of funny how a movie like that was able to be made. Hollywood, they do be sucking. Though I heard that like the original concepts for that movie was more country focused or something. I don't know. It was still like about like a celebrity kind of getting like a reality check in a sense, but like with dogs and stuff like that. I kind of forget what the original concepts were for both. King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph is another awesome twist villain done right. Yeah, he really was. Cause like even the pieces were there to like hint that there's something off about this dude. Like he does not belong in here, but nobody knew. Did Bolt really have villains? Like, I guess you could call them antagonists. And it was mostly TV producers. Which is why, again, I'm like, it's impressive that some of these movies that critique Hollywood end up being made. Big Hero 6, however, completely and utterly fumbled the villain bag. Yeah. Yeah, it did not feel really properly set up at all. Kind of felt a little bit like rushed towards the end, like, oops, we forgot to write a villain. both Moana movies, actually, where it's like, it feels like they don't really want to throw in a villain in there, but they kind of have to. And even with the villains that are in there, they don't really give them enough time to actually be villains. Which is why I feel like a TV show would have been so much better, because then you can actually see characters like Tamatoa and the... whatever the god guy's name was in Moana 2, actually being more like villainous. The best thing about Bolt is that it was made by a Hollywood studio. Irony at its finest. Yep. And like, that movie was made around 2008, right? Or at least the aftermath of like the 2008 writers' strike or something. Cause like, there were definitely movies that were kind of coming out around that time that were kind of awkward. I remember I made both OCs for Twist. Interesting. I kind of have like two, but one of them is just like me as a Twisted Wonderland character, so that doesn't really count. But then we have Kalia, the snake, based off of Ka. So. Both came out in 2008, you are correct. My Twist version of Mittens has a love-hate relationship with Leona. That's funny. Oh, that, like, yeah, I knew that it was kind of around that era, so I guess it makes sense that Bolt was able to kind of get away with critiquing at the time. I don't know. Pinocchio also didn't see its villains die, actually. They got away with it in a rare movie. Yeah, that's also a thing that happened. Yeah, the Pinocchio villains just got away scot-free. Because also, isn't it implied that the coachman is just straight up the devil or something? It's like, even Honest John and Gideon were like afraid of that dude. If you can't be serious. I feel bad for the boys who even turned to donkeys, even the talking ones. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Very sad fate. And something you don't really see a lot of in kids' media anymore. The implications that bad actions have consequences. Yeah, a lot of people do believe Coachman to be the devil due to the fact that one face he makes and the Crossroads line, among other reasons. It's like, even if he's not straight up the devil, it's kind of implied that he's like, he's done some dirty dealings, you know? With the devil. The craziest thing about Pinocchio was that Jackass was acceptable for family-friendly audiences at the time. Yeah. It's funny how language changes like that. Because that is just a word for donkey. That also reminds me of like some of the old Looney Tunes cartoons that I'd be watching sometimes. I just remember specifically this one little gag where it's like Bugs is like falling out of like a little plane or something, and he just briefly turns into a donkey for a second. 1940s humor. Very slapstick. But the way they use it, it's not used primarily to describe donkeys. It's meant to describe someone being stupid, like how we use it nowadays. Yeah. Because, like, donkeys are also stubborn, too, which is why calling somebody, like, a jackass means that they're stupid and stubborn. I'm pretty sure that's what it was for the little Looney Tunes gag thing that I remember. Oh yeah, Disney's Pinocchio 2022 was a mistake. Yeah. A lot of the live-action remakes were a mistake. Particularly, that's what happens when you get people who don't really care about source material working on these things. And they're kind of just doing whatever. Which doesn't really work if you're essentially remaking a movie that you already made and own. That people already like as it is. Which is also why the Snow White remake feels so disrespectful in general, because it's like, you didn't have to do this. You really didn't have to do this. Why did you do this? The money is just... ugh. The desire for money was too strong. Sorry, I can't get over the fact. Get over Ida. Eat a goofy fact. Eat a goofy face. I like it when he makes a very goofy looking awkward face. It's like, it's even in some of his like official card art too, where he's just trying to make a face. Snow White 2025 Snow White 2025 made Wish look good. It feels like it was trying to be, from like the reviews of the plot, it feels like it was kind of trying to be Wish. It's so weird. I think the best live-action remake was Cinderella, truth be told. I think it is, in some ways, better than the original. It expands more of the original story without adding stuff. Yeah! I remember seeing the Cinderella live-action, like, a few times, but I can't really remember much of it, because, like, I don't know, but, like, yeah, it does do a better job of, like, actually expanding upon the story and actually making a remake that's worth remaking. And I feel like that's the thing with some of these movies, because like Snow White, remaking Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has had the potential to expand upon the characters, considering there was so much cut stuff from the original movie, particularly with the prince, expanding his character. Like, come on, he's right there. Along with the fact that part of his original, the prince's original plot lines and stuff were reworked into Sleeping Beauty, so it's like, you had something to work with and you just refuse to acknowledge that. Like, ugh. The weirdest thing about Snow White 2025 is that Dopey talked. Why? I want to know what the reasoning was behind that, because, like, why? He was a fine character as he was. Some people are just mute, man. Whether it be for, like, psychological or, like, literally medical reasons, like, come on. That just feels rude. Wait, Dopey talked? That's what I've been hearing from the reviews, because I'm not paying money to watch that movie. Like, I don't understand what they were trying to do with Dopey's character in that movie either. But yeah, they made him talk. He was apparently the narrator. And I think that's very weird. And Dopey was the first autistic representation in media, too. Even if it was unintentional at the time. Let's be honest, it probably wasn't that intentional. Mainly because around that era, there was like a lot of like silent slapstick. So I think that's part of the reason why his character was meant to be quiet. And like non-verbal. Mostly for gags, but it unintentionally does represent like, it has like unintentional autistic representation. It's like there could have been a way to actually like kind of address that in a remake intentionally without making it feel kind of weird by just not really acknowledging that, you know? Because there isn't really a one-size-fits-all when it comes to representing characters, and I feel like people really need to understand that. He's just a dude. Just a fun little guy. That's why people like Dopey. They should have had a full scene where Snow White teaches Dopey to talk. That would have been weird, but better than what we got. Ortho pure boy. Ortho is best boy. We always gotta bring the conversation back to Ortho, because yes. I like his posing for this outfit too. So like smug. Like, do you see how smug he looks here? I mean, it's not as smug as some of his other images, but like, he's like, yeah, look at me. Fabulous. Ida always kind of looks a little awkward, but like, I love it. It's like, yeah, he's trying to look cool, but he comes off as a little bit awkward unintentionally. Like, he's just trying his best, man. We love an awkward nerd. Only Pure alone, but with Ida. Ortho can be a menace whenever he wants. Even toward Ida. Although it's like a little bit unintentional, but at the same time it's like he's messing with Ida as well. So like there's like a little chat conversation that they have. And like they're kind of just like talking, and Ida's kind of talking about something, and then Ortho's like, but when you're talking online you sound really confident. And then he just plays back audio of Ida when he was like just gaming hardcore, and then Ida's like, please stop, you're embarrassing me. But it is funny hearing Ortho do a little impression of Ida when he's in the zone. And then the fairy gala stuff. It's so funny. He's like, please let me go. Please let me do the fairy gala. Pretty please. And then he starts crying, and then Ida's like, I can't say no to you. Fine, you can go. He's like, thank you, Bill, for teaching me how to act. Like the fact that Bill was just like, that's impressive. When Ortho tells him exactly what happened. Like, how does a robot cry? Ida would 100% roast a kid on Roblox. He would. He'd roast anybody. No one is safe. If he deems you a noob, he's roasting you mercilessly. If he loses one of his event matches, he's gonna go ballistic. Cursed gamer goblin. Okay, when I finish Ortho's hair, I'm gonna call it a day. Or who knows? I don't know. Didn't he roast Jamil for being a fake fan? I think he did. I just vaguely remember that there was, I think it was for Jamil's Fairy Gala card. He was, like, getting dance lessons from Ida. But it was like the, like an idol dance or something. And I think that's why Ida was calling Jamil a fake fan. Like, how, you don't know the dances? How dare you? I don't know. Something like that. I do remember that happening. And I like the fact that there's now like a little line gif of Ida and Jamil dancing with light sticks. It's so funny. I love it. Twisted Wonderland line stickers and gifs are so hilarious. It kind of makes you forget all the crazy emotional stuff that happens in this game. Cause like, ooh, funny little gift. Ooh, they're dancing. Still can't though, like, Ida teaching him how to dance. It was more of like a specific type of dance. Because I think it had something to do with like what they were gonna do for their performance at the Fairy Gala for like the distraction. Something like that. I need to reread it again, but like that's vaguely what I remember the card being about. Because like Jamil can dance. He is a much better dancer than Kaleem in a sense, but they're both good at dancing. But obviously Jamil is like the one that has more skill. That's also part of the reason why in the Pomfrey chapter he's like one of the main vocalists and dancers in it. Because he's more talented than Kaleem. But that just encourages Kaleem to actually try better. It's like, you know what? I understand why I am here. Now I'll work on getting better. I can't just have things be handed down to me because I'm the rich one. Liam is such a good boy. Only for Jamil to be taught how to dance with light sticks by gloomy gamer nerd. Yeah. It's funny. There we go. Almost done. Birthday. I'm just gonna yoink. And for now, I'm just gonna color the entire body in this color. Okay, now I want to see that animated Jamil and Ida with like 6 dancing. I got you, hold on. I had to save it immediately. It's just too funny. I don't remember who the artist that they collaborated with to make some of these gifts, because like whenever they do like line stickers or something, it's usually like a guest artist making them, whether it be for like animated gifs or just like stickers online. The Japanese-based text app that's kind of like WhatsApp or something, from what I understand. It was really fun. Let me pull it up because I have it on my computer. Media. No. I know it's here. There they are. Loop it, please. There. Here they are. I'm just gonna let them dance here for a while. They're idle dancing. Just two bros idle dancing. So cute. They're so silly. I love them. I think there's I think it's Monstro Lounge Official on Tumblr who has all the GIFs GIFs on like a Google Drive. That's where I grabbed it from. We're just vibing. There we go. And that's it for today. Yay! We got most of the coloring done. It usually takes a while for me to get the hair. I'm also gonna have to add the little flame heart on ortho at some point, but that's probably gonna be like a last minute thing that I do. I'm probably gonna finish these later on in the day. Cause yeah, Wednesday we're doing rating the Twisted Wonderland overblock designs. And potentially, maybe Friday's gonna be rating fashion dolls. Probably. Because I think that's a fun idea, and I do have that interest as well. Or it could just be me showing off the dolls that I actually have, because I have quite a few right now. As well as talking about dolls I used to have, because like I used to have a bunch of Bratz dolls. Like a lot. And I'm sad that I don't have them anymore. But yeah, that's for next week. Next week is a Wednesday through Friday week. So we'll see how smoothly that goes. Until then, bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend.